What we're going to do today is a kind of year in review to talk about all the things that we've made improvements on in the area of Robot Cloud for the past year. So there's a lot to talk about. We'll touch on as much as we can, then you can explore more later. I want to remind everyone that because we get beat up a bit on our communication and there's so much to convey, and trying to do that in a nice, clean fashion has been a challenge for us. But we do try to tweet about anything that comes up, and then typically we follow up the tweet with more information, whether it's a video or a post or a discussion like this. So if you haven't yet, please follow us on Twitter, robot_cloud. Also, our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/forgetcomputers. We have a couple areas. One being the Robot Cloud, what we call Robot Cloud Actions. This is a series we just put together the other day that's got some videos on how the actions work and links to more information. And then Master Your Robot Cloud, which is what we're doing right now. This is the fourth one we've recorded, and you can see the previous three here and listen to those. And as always, send us any feedback. So what we're going to do today is talk about what we've done this year, and I'm going to go, first of all, I'm going to go to forgetcomputers.com/what's-new, or you can simply go under products to Robot Cloud and what's new right here. We'll take you there. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the beginning of 2015. Here we go, 2014, 2015. All right, so early 2015, we started with this Mac name change, or rather, if you have a Mac name change, how do you keep your LogMeIn up to date? This is a challenge for us because as we grow, people sometimes want to change the name of their Mac, and they may or may not tell us. Now, changing the name of the Mac, correct me if I'm wrong here, Nathan, automatically gets updated in Robot Cloud, and that gets reflected in Dashboard. However, LogMeIn, after that initial installation, never updates its name ever again unless you manually go in there and update it. And that was a problem. And that was frustrating because people would say, please connect to X, Y, and Z Mac. And we couldn't find it in the list, and we didn't know what it was called. And trying to troubleshoot that was just a lot of wasted time. So we came up with this process by which if the name changes or if the serial number changes, we do a fresh installation of LogMeIn simply to get that new name. Is that right, Nathan?
That is correct, Ben.
Okay, thanks. Nathan's here to keep me from saying things that are incorrect. So, Nathan, if I say anything that's incorrect, I trust that you'll chime in and tell me. There's more information there about what we're doing, but that's been a huge help for our team. And I need to clarify that if you do use LogMeIn, this particular feature only works in our LogMeIn instance. We have a couple add-ons in our operations manual where we talk about how you can use our LogMeIn Central. If anyone is using LogMeIn, and you know that the prices continue to go up, so this is one way for us to band together and reduce the cost of LogMeIn, which I think is a fantastic product. I just wish they would stop monkeying around with the price. Moving on, the next thing we did earlier this year was a new inventory item called User Account Details. And the challenge is that we had a project by which we needed to clean up a lot of user accounts. And when I say a lot, it's hard to imagine how many user accounts this particular location had. But not only that, they had local accounts, they had network accounts, they had mobile accounts, and they had some service accounts like the one you see here called Firebird, which I think was installed by a printer. Is that right, Nathan?
There's a Command Center workstation app for the Firebird ripsaw.
Oh, hey, Chad. Thanks for joining us. We basically wanted to see what accounts needed to stay, what needed to go, what needed to be moved, say, from a network account to a mobile account or from a mobile account to a local account. We built this in order to gather all the accounts on a particular machine so we could run reports and figure out what to do next. This is not exposed in Dashboard. However, it is available in the backend in the JSS. And if you have site access, then you have access to this information. If you do not have site access, I want you to contact us so we can get you site access so you can see this type of information. And just as a quick aside, if I were to go into Dashboard, and here I'm looking at my machine for my computer, if I wanted to see this information, I would then click on the JSS link and it would take me to the computer in the JSS. Now, I've already logged in, but if you have privileges, you have to log in the first time. And then, Chad, where would I see that particular extension attribute or user accounts? Right here.
Right there under user and location right at the bottom. Yep.
Yep. So user accounts, you can see I have my own. I have an FC Tech. Robot Cloud has one, and then there's a service account. Mac ports. Actually, do we know what that is, Chad?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, or feedback. Roy's looking for feedback and ways to improve Robot Cloud all around. Another item we worked on was antivirus. We ran into some issues where basically a client had multiple antivirus solutions installed at the same time, or at least two, and they were conflicting and causing problems and really slowing down the computer. So we built this so we could quickly find out if anyone else was doing that, and we found out that they were. So in certain cases, we wanted to eliminate all but one of those antivirus solutions. And after we built this, we went ahead and said, well, not only do we want to know about it, we want to get alerted on it, because rather than running manual audits periodically, let's just let Robot Cloud tell us when there's a problem. So we enhanced that and started looking for multiple installs, and now we get alerted by it, or you get alerted by it if they're your computers. And currently, these are the ones we're checking for. I don't know if this has changed or needs to be updated. This is from May, but if there's something new out there that you'd like to see on the list, please let us know and we can look at adding it. Okay, set management. When a computer is enrolled into Robot Cloud, in order to get the specific actions that are unique to the building or the client or your Robot Cloud methods, we need to tell it where to live. And of course, the problem with that is if you enroll it, someone used to have to go in and manually tell it where to live, and that was us. But we wanted you to have the ability to do that, so we created the ability for you to, if Robot Cloud can discover the location, then you can set it to either inventorying alerts or actions and get everything you need. And if Robot Cloud cannot determine the location, then you can enter a location, which will create a ticket, which will prompt us to then create the location and set the correct location of that computer in the JSS. I think I said location about 20 times just then, so I don't know if that made a lot of sense. But the general process here is we want to put more power into your hands so you can get to work faster. However, if you are adding new buildings, new locations, any adds, moves, or changes in the world of your clients, it's best to let us know in advance so we can add your client or your building to the system. The last thing you want to do is add a client, on a Saturday and you haven't told us, it's not in the system, which means you can enroll a device into Robot Cloud, but it won't have those custom actions that you might need. So plan ahead, let us know, we're here to help. The power of automation. I did this video recording for Zendesk, which is a great example of what's going on behind the scenes to make all this work. And if you haven't listened to it, I encourage you to do so, just so you can get maybe some ideas to give us feedback or it might answer some of your questions. In addition to this, I did a follow-up video at the Jamf user conference, the JNUC, and I don't have that listed here. I need to post that, but you can find that on the Jamf website. I'm sure we posted it somewhere, but I need to post it here. Let's see, new software. We put FileMaker Pro 14 into Robot Cloud. And speaking of software, we do often update this page, which is the software actions page, where we talk about the versions of Adobe, Apple, Extensys, Microsoft, and a whole bunch of additional software, print drivers, custom installs. We try to keep this list up to date. Some days we're better at it than others. And of course, if there's something that you want to see that's not here, let us know so that we could investigate adding it and benefiting everyone in Robot Cloud, or maybe it's a custom policy just for you or one of your clients. Okay, Mac password management. This was a big one because we don't use directory services in many cases. We're not using Active Directory. I mean, some of our locations do. But a lot of them do not. We had a client with no directory service, but they had legal requirements to have a password policy on their Mac. Chad, you worked very hard on this, right, to create a pretty fancy password policy that we have a lot of control over, and we learned a lot from this because, as you can imagine, we're all in the IT business. Not everyone reads warnings or notifications or pop-ups. So we came to the process of how can we not only change the password or ask someone to change the password, but give them plenty of warning to the point where they're going to change the password. And even then, if they don't change the password, how can we help them recover from that? Because one of the things we learned is if you don't change your password, some bad things can happen in the sense that you can get locked out of your computer. Chad, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that was pretty succinct. We try to encourage the user via email, which of course creates a ticket. At least on our ticketing system, it could create one in yours. And essentially, we have the pop-ups once a day, 2 weeks before it expires. Encourage the user to change the password. If they click that button, it goes right into system preferences, right into the change password dialog. So it makes it real easy. In locations that have this, since we've been running it, there have only been 2 instances where users ignored everything. And in which case, it's pretty clear, like, well, you're always going to have a human element that may not listen. But
Yeah.
this, by and large, has mitigated all of that nonsense nicely.
Yeah, and we also had to overcome some issues with Keychain and updating the password in just the right way so the Keychain would also get updated, and we overcame that. And this is a really slick system. And to pair with this, we have a area. In fact, I'm going to go into support menu. Reminder: if you're not using support menu, it's a great tool, not just for yourself. Mine's really customized here, but also for your customers. And I'm going to go into self-service. And we have started adding these custom plugins, are they called, Chad, Nathan, in the JSS?
Yeah, they're plugins.
Yeah, self-service plugins. And one of them is a forms plugin. And these are all the forms. It opens a website when I click on it, but these are all the forms that we've built for our customers over the years. And you could do the same thing. And in fact, if you have built anything that you feel should be included in your self-service, let us know, and we can customize this and add it to your self-service. These are all the forms, and one of them is this password policy. So if you were to come to us and want to do this, we might ask you to fill out this form, or if this is our customer, we would ask them to fill out this form just to get some information on what their password policy should look like, so we can build that into the Robot Cloud custom action. Another thing that we did with the plugin is Rackspace email setup. We have a lot of customers on Rackspace. I like this because forms is for all of our customers, right? Everyone gets that in self-service, but not every one of our customers uses Rackspace. So only those that do use Rackspace see the Rackspace email setup. And of course, if they click on that, it takes them right to a web page where they can get more information about setting up their email. And then, of course, we've got dashboard that could go out to everyone if you want it to. It doesn't have Tad. I think that only goes out to our pro support customers. Is that right? Currently, if anyone wants to add it to their client list, you could do that. And then we designate whether a computer is in actions or inventory alerts. Inventory alerts will not have any actions, so you won't really see anything in self-service. But that's a good way if you're troubleshooting. You're like, why am I not seeing anything in self-service? Well, check here, and if you're in inventory alerts and you need to be moved to actions, let us know. Okay, let's go back to what's new. We added Adobe Creative Cloud 2015. Custom actions to distribute content. We had a client who we discovered they were spending a lot of time putting this Keynote, or actually it might have been PowerPoint in this case, PowerPoint template onto all their computers. And we said, we can automate that with Robot Cloud. So anytime they want to make a change to the template, they give us the template. We put it into Robot Cloud and distribute that to everyone in their office. So that's just an example of how you can really leverage automation in ways that maybe you haven't thought of, or if you discover clients are doing things that they don't need to be doing because you can automate it for them. Robot Cloud T-shirts, we sold out of these, but if you're interested in these, let me know and we'll get some more of them. Improvements to Mac OS upgrades. The big improvement here was we have a lot more people running over Wi-Fi networks. And Wi-Fi, depending on the location and the computer, can be fast or slow, and not a really good experience if you're trying to upgrade an operating system, even if you have a local distribution point. And so what we decided was let's cache the entire upgrade before it's allowed to run, and that way it can move over wireless over several hours or even several days. Once it's completely cached, the user has the ability to go into self-service and click the upgrade button. And I have an upgrade to El Capitan here, which I think I should do right now live and see what happens. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Coward.
Coward, yes. It will work, but you guys don't want to watch that. So how Robot Cloud handles OS 10 upgrades. This was after we built this, we did one of our talks that we're doing right now, and we talked about it and we recorded it, and you can watch that here. Crash Plan, auto update Crash Plan MAC names. So similar to the previous log me in issue, Crash Plan also does not update the MAC name. The MAC name can change several times, and Crash Plan just keeps the original name. And this can also be frustrating, and we wanted to fix it. So we now fix it. Once again, it only works currently if you're using our Crash Plan, and we do have an add-on for that. And if I go to info.robotcloud.net, add-ons, we've got the remote access, which is Log Me In, and we've got the Robot Cloud Backup, which is Crash Plan Cloud. And it's the same price you can get from Crash Plan. You have all the same features, all the same access. It's just that we're pooling our resources and having one central location, and we're automating the installation, the updating, the patching, which we can still do for you. But if you want that extra feature of updating the name, then join us in our Crash Plan, and that's been really great. Energy saver settings from October. Chad or Nathan, if you recall maybe why this came about, I think it was just we were getting a lot with Apple being so aggressive in their latest energy saver settings. People would often say, yeah, could you look at my machine? They'd walk away. 5 seconds later, the machine's asleep. We can't get to it. So we wanted a way for them to change those settings, and walking them through that process turned out to be not as easy as we would like. So we built the easy button, and we list some other ideas here about why you might want to use that, and that's available to everyone. If you don't see it, let us know. Network throughput. This is something we built in November, but I believe it just got released today to everyone other than our own team. So I encourage you to check it out. Once again, it's in self-service. I think it's under troubleshooting. I've got a lot of items here. Here it is, network throughput. You can also search for it here, network. There it is. And this allows you to run a network speed test, either Mac to Mac, one-to-one, or one-to-many, and figure out if you're having any issues. And we built this because we had a situation where, people were complaining about network speeds, and we're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? And it turns out that I think it was a phone company, a voice over IP company, had come in unbeknownst to us, made some network changes, and downgraded a couple ports from gigabit to 10100. And we simply weren't catching it because we weren't looking for it. And in addition, as we explain here, it's relatively easy to look on a wired connection, whether it's fast or slow. But we didn't really have a tool set to figure out if a wireless connection was fast or slow. So we built this, and I'd love you guys to try it out, give us feedback, tell us what works, what doesn't work, tell us what you'd like to see, what's missing, all that good stuff. And the last one I want to talk about here is reset Adobe preferences, CS5 and later. And this is something that over the years we've had to do many times. We run a lot of creative professional workstations, and sometimes the Adobe preferences become corrupt or act strange, and we just want to reset them. So here's an easy way to do that. Now keep in mind, if you haven't done this before, as the name implies, Adobe preference reset means if the customer has custom preferences, those are going to be reset to the default. So just be aware of that. Oh, I want to mention, if you use Zendesk, here's an example ticket. If any of you were at the JNUC, you remember that Chad never types in tickets. He only responds with GIFs. And he does an amazing support job. People love him. And this explains it all right here. But what I want to show you is our Robot Cloud dashboard. And I previewed this during the JNUC. It wasn't quite as polished as it is now. But in this situation, I've got a ticket. I'm using myself as an example. So my computer shows up. I can see everything's green except I've got a workload potential problem, yellow, not red. And I can open that in Dashboard just by clicking this button. And before I do that, this is another helpful thing. When was the last time this checked in? Because is this information up to date or not? And I checked in a day ago, so it is up to date. I can quickly copy and paste the serial number if I need it. I know what OS is running. I know the model. Of course, I know the name, and then I know quickly if there's anything I should be concerned about. I can go into Dashboard. I can look at that in more detail. I can go into the JSS, into sites, and look at that in even more detail. So this is saving a lot of time just by drilling down deeper and deeper. And if you're not using Dashboard, strongly encourage you to use it for all of your staff, especially your support desk. And we also share it with our customers, at least our primary contacts or anyone who wants to see what's in the system. It's a great tool for them. That is everything on my list. Yeah, thanks again, everyone. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you in January, where we're going to have a full year's worth of these types of programs. Give us feedback on what you want to learn more about, whether it's you need more information written up in video form or just a discussion like this. And come with questions so we can answer some questions and have a bit of a dialogue.
You
Thanks,
know what,
everyone.
Ben?
Oh, yeah.
Ben, we actually did get a question.
Too late. I said questions. Now I'm moving on. No, but no. Go. What's the question?
Password reset for network users, and that's how it was typed. So.
For a network, so not a local user, but a network user. Chad, I think that would be controlled by the network, or would we play well with that?
We currently don't have any automation to go into a directory and change a user's password. That would need to be done if in Open Directory or an Active Directory in those actual management console. We don't offer a web page or a third-party app to negotiate with those directory services, although I know they do exist. We're trying to move as far away from directory services as we can. So as far as the network account is concerned, that still needs to be done on the server side.
Right, and there is a tool I think you mentioned in your talk at the JNUC that I've heard before for helping with Active Directory password changes. What's the name of that tool?
Oh yeah, AD Passmon. Yeah, open source application, still works great in, definitely Yosemite. I haven't tested it in LCAP yet. And what it'll do is it has a menulet, so it sits up next to the clock, and it will, while the user's logged in, it can show how much time they have until their password expires, and they can go in and change their password directly from there as well. So it's definitely, I would say, a required app if you're running like a network user account. Hopefully you're not, or a mobile user account with cache credentials.
Yeah, and
but
so
if you're
this
using a local account, then use our tools instead.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we've been working hard to get away from directory services is there have been some hints from that big company in Cupertino that they're kind of getting away from that. Think of the iOS devices. The iOS devices are not required to connect to a directory server to work, and we're seeing very little benefit connecting a Mac to a directory server. And in fact, if the only benefit we're getting is password policy, then can we work around that? And yes, we can. We have a solution. And in fact, we think it works better because then we don't have to rely on something like AdPassmon to help the user with the password change. And that still seems to be a real challenge. I don't know how much better it is, Chad, with AdPassmon. I'm sure it's much better, but that does seem to be an issue in those offices where they have directory services and have those password policies, correct?
Yeah, well, it is a lot better because without AdPassmon, if you have a AdBind and a mobile account, the only time you get informed if your password is going to need to change is at the login window. And we know how many users actually log out and log in every day, which is, 1%.
Right.
So a lot of the times a password can just expire while they're using it. Single sign-on breaks, Kerberos tickets stop being generated, then they have to essentially restart their Mac and change their password right away. So with AdPassmon, at least they can see when they're going to expire and change it in advance to keep things running.
Right. Okay, great. Kat, are there any other questions?
No, not at this time.
Well, I like MacMule's slogan here, doing the donkey work to make you look like a smartass. Thank you, MacMule. And thank you, everyone, again. Have a good holiday. We'll talk to you next year. Bye.